I'd like to welcome you to the Donnie Glover Show live from the Downtown Cultural Arts Center, where we just had the Black Wall Street Expo 2025. We want you to stay tuned. We have some very special guests that I want you to meet.
You got Carolina Kitchen in Bowie, Maryland, next to Magic Johnson Theaters. You have the Carolina Kitchen in Hyattsville, Maryland, right there near the University of Maryland. You got the Carolina Kitchen in Brandywine, Maryland, near Waldorf. You got the Carolina Kitchen with plant-based options right off of 495, exit 15. And the Carolina Kitchen right here in Baltimore, Maryland. In Owens Mills, Maryland, it just opened. That also has plant-based options. And in a couple more weeks, we have the Carolina Kitchen Sea and Soul, seafood, Southern cuisine together, and a glass building with the roof that retracts. Get excited. And also L London Fine Wines and Spirits. They're getting ready to open in a couple weeks too. Not one, but two fine wine and spirits stores. Get excited. God is good.
Welcome back to the Donnie Glover Show. We have the one and only Choo Smith, straight out of Sandtown. Now he's global. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing, Donnie? The great. Love you, man.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.
What's the news? What just happened?
Well, you just had today, Black Wall Street. Look at all these people, man. Rennie, Frank. You know, I'm always give it back to you, man. You know, you try to make it about me, but it's really about you. Look at this. Downtown Cultural Arts Center, giving back to all these people. How many awards you give today?
32.
32 awards. How long you been doing this?
Since 2011.
2011.
We talking about you, man. You're in 52 cities now. Communiversity. What's a communiversity? And it's such an ingenious name. I love the name.
Well, what we found out, you know, we've been in existence for 20 years, and what we found out was that we got to create an ecosystem that can be wraparound services for our community. So the community is what you see today. University is when you come on a college campus, you're able to see all different ethnic groups, and it's all about inclusion. So we're going to put this in 51 cities, starting off at 4701 Green Spring. We're excited about that. We got the support of the city, we got the support of the community. And
But tell them about the billionaires, man. I had to get it in there.
Yeah, well, we have a family office that has come full circle with us. Our project out of 10 was #1, and that's major for our city of Baltimore. And we want to make sure that it's launched here first, and then we're going to branch out. We got Detroit coming up, we got Houston, we got New Mexico, we got Vegas, and we got Atlanta. And we're just excited, man. We mixed-use development, mission-driven.
We can't leave out the 52. What's the 52?
Well, Ray Lewis has been involved with us, and he's number 52, and we decided to touch 52 cities in honor of his number and his greatness for bringing us 2 championships to Baltimore.
What does this say about stick-to-itiveness? You teach it to the kids, but this project has made you practice it.
Yeah, you know, when we first talked about this, everybody was like, how you gonna do this? And my thing is, we gotta research, we gotta study, we gotta surround ourselves with people smarter than us. And we just put the work in. Got a lot of no's, a lot of people saying it can't work, but we just kept going and kept pushing it. And with a great team of individuals who've come together, it's helped support us to get us to this point, and we're just excited to be here right now.
Do people know what I know? I mean, you get to hang out. Who are the legends you hung out with in the past 2 weeks?
Well, as you know, Donnie, being the chairman of the NBA retired players is a tremendous honor. We want to give a big shout out to Antonio Davis because we put him as our new CEO, and all the NBA guys are excited. We got a mission that we have for the next 3 to 5 years to make that transition from player to second life. Guys go through a lot. The lights are not on anymore. They're stressing. The finances are not the way they used to be. They made some bad business decisions. But we got to create this environment where they can have the second life, connect to the players that's playing currently, and we provide resources and opportunities for them. So just excited to spent 2 weeks there and Got a chance to bond with Antonio. He's a San Francisco, Oakland guy. And we was with 2,000 people throughout the whole 2-week period.
The last question I have is when we first started doing these interviews, there was a young man, you had me come out, you did a press conference for him. He was a big brother, he had 2 little brothers, maybe one of his brothers got killed.
Yes, yes.
How is he doing today?
He's doing outstanding. His name is Danny Shane. Danny Shane, he a great player. He scored almost 1,800 points, got his degree. He's a head coach at JV at Newtown. He has his own business. He's training kids. He's doing great. He's 28 years old, and he called me Pop, so I'm like his dad now, so he likes sons.
Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being my brother.
Thank you, Donnie. Appreciate you, man.
Always.
All love, man.
The one and only Choo Smith. Much love. Stay tuned to the Donnie Glover Show. We'll be back.
Baltimore and DMV, Donnie Glover and BMoreNews presents BMoreNews Branding Bootcamp, a small business masterclass featuring Erica Alston Buck, Andy Pierre, Calvin Watkins, Marcel Humphrey, and Kenny Brown. That's right, March 15th, 2025, from 11 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. Get your early bird special tickets now at BMoreNews.com for BMoreNews Branding Bootcamp, a small business masterclass presented by Fox and Lion Communications in conjunction with BMoreNews.com.
We'd like to welcome you back to the Donnie Glover Show. Today we're going to speak with Sherretta Peterson about strategic growth, how to take your business from here to there. Sherretta, how are you?
I'm doing great, Donnie. Always good to see you.
Good, good. Tell them what you do.
So I do strategic planning. I help organizations grow and capitalize on what they're already doing, but better. We just want to accelerate that growth and make sure they're reaching those milestones, whether it's 20% growth, 50% growth, sometimes 200% growth.
One of the things I've heard you talk about is assessing a business. How do you assess a business and how do you determine if they can grow? Because I imagine not all businesses are scalable.
That's true. Some businesses are for personal use. It may be a hairstyling company or a business that is going to only grow within the community. But some are not. Some are IT companies that I work with that are scaling at a much larger rate. But for those that are smaller, we do an assessment. We look at the growth that they've already had and where they want to go and what the capacity building initiatives look like. So sometimes we take a step back, make sure the operations are where they need to be to handle that growth and not cause any hiccups along the way.
What's the typical challenge that small businesses encounter?
It's always going to be human capital, Donnie. That is one of the hardest things for people to do, to build teams, to accelerate that growth that they're looking for. Finding good people, it's very hard, but we help them look at the metrics, understand who needs to be in what seat on the bus, and get them to where they need to go.
Any thoughts on the Black Wall Street Expo?
Oh, it was terrific, Donnie. I feel like I'm amongst the people doing the work now. I am officially a part of that team, and it was phenomenal. So many beautiful faces, so many people in the room that we could run a small country. All the people here.
A lot of potential. Lance London, the keynote speaker.
Oh my goodness.
Was he motivating?
Carolina Kitchen. I love that place. It is amazing. Just understanding the work that he's done in the community, not just building, but giving back to the community. It's phenomenal.
Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because I have to. I have to give back to the community. I believe in learning, earning, and returning. This is my phase of life to really return and give back to the community what they gave to me. They helped me build the life that I've achieved, and it's my turn to give back.
Good deal. Thank you for joining us, Sherretta Peterson.
Thank you.
You're watching the Donnie Glover Show. Stay tuned. We'd like to welcome you back to the Donnie Glover Show. We have with us Baltimore County Councilman Julian Jones. How are you, Councilman?
Donnie, I'm doing very well. Always doing well when I'm with you, my friend. How you doing?
Good. There is an election coming up. I believe the primary is in June.
Yes.
And you will be running for Baltimore County Executive?
If the Lord willing and everything works out, I should be, yes.
Are you ready for the challenge?
Absolutely. I'm very blessed. You know, I've had a nice long career here in Baltimore County, been on the council for 10 years. I've been chairman for 4 times and received tremendous support throughout Baltimore County. So we're going to be taking a good look at it, and if everything works out all right, we're certainly going to put our hat in the ring.
What would you point to in terms of accomplishments over the past years?
Let's see, some of my biggest accomplishments is the College Promise program, providing free college at the community college for everybody who graduates from a high school in Baltimore County. Let's see, there was police reform, being able to be a leader on police reform and do it in a way that not only did we make significant improvements in the police department, but we did it with the cooperation of the FOP as well as the state's attorney. We've worked on issues to, you name it. I was reviewing some footage the other day. I remember one time we were entertaining Proposition 287G, where we would deputize our corrections officers to work for ICE. And I stood strong against that and helped stop that from happening. And that was like 6 or 7, 8 years ago. So here we are continuing to look at all of our accomplishments and think about all the things that we can do in the future.
Any thoughts on the relationship between Baltimore County and Baltimore City? What would you as county executive do to help us work together better?
We have to work together, Donnie. There's no question. Baltimore City and Baltimore County, we're connected at the hip. We rise and fall together. When you go out, heck, sometimes you don't have to go beyond this state, but if you go beyond this state, people don't know the difference between Baltimore City and Baltimore County. So when you're making a pitch, trying to bring new businesses to Baltimore County, whatever they know about Baltimore, that's what they're going to make their decisions on. And they sometimes don't know the difference between Baltimore City and Baltimore County. So we absolutely, positively have to work together. We have to collaborate because we rise and fall together. When it comes to crime and so many other issues, people don't know the difference between one side. It's an imaginary line. It means something, but people don't see that line when they're riding up York Road. People don't see that line when they're riding out Liberty Road. It goes from Liberty Heights to Liberty Road like that, and nobody knows the difference. So we absolutely, positively have to work together.
One last question, Councilman. In the last election for county executive,
yes,
Johnny Olszewski won by 17 votes.
Yes.
How important is it to vote? And I say that with all due respect to Ella White Campbell, to Dolores Kelly, to those matriarchs, Emmett Burns, those people who made voting important to our community. But as we move from Northwest Baltimore City out to Liberty Road, Randallstown, Woodlawn, Owens Mills, it seems like we're forgetting the power of the vote. How significant is the vote?
Well,
our vote.
Our vote is extremely important. And I am very fortunate to come from an area on the west side of Baltimore County where we outvote everybody in terms of districts. So when you think about our history as African Americans in this country and what transpired prior, the people who died for us to have that right, it's extremely important. But now fast forward to today, and we look at what's going on in this country, elections have consequences.
Yes.
And you talk about Johnny O, he's a good man, he won by 17 votes. Kwasi Mfume, his first election, he won by 3 votes.
3
or
votes.
6 or 3, I think it was 3. But the point I'm making is every vote counts, and whether you want to accept it or not, the people running this government have some control over you and what happens to you and in your life, and your children's life, and our future. So you can be ignorant and sit on the sideline and say, I don't care, it don't affect me. Oh, yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
It affects you.
Yes,
so you need to get involved and make sure that you're doing it for yourself, vote for your community, vote for your children's future. So absolutely, voting is very important.
Good deal. Any final thoughts you want to share with the camera?
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for giving me an opportunity as Good seeing everybody here today. And I just pray that all goes well for you. We are in some very troubling times. Believe me when I tell you, these things are affecting us here in Baltimore County. We have some 500 employees who receive their paycheck through a grant from the federal government. 500 in Baltimore County. We have Social Security right here in Baltimore County, where we have the they like our largest employer in Baltimore County. So what happens at the federal level, like no other time before, is affecting us here at the local level. So elections have consequences. I want everybody to come out and vote. And I thank you for giving me an opportunity to be here and spread the word.
Good deal. Thank you, Councilman Jones.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned to the Donnie Glover Show. We'll be right back.
When daily tasks become too painful, it's time for change. Let our pain management and wellness practice, Valentine Integrative Health, elevate your quality of life and ease your discomfort. Visit us at valentineintegrativehealth.com and start your journey to a fuller life.
It took a year for me to get myself together. You let me start learning what I was doing through making a mistake, right? But always remember that a setback is just a setup for a comeback. Does that make, can I repeat that one more time? A setback is just a setup for a comeback. So even though it seemed like I was failing, but I killed them with niceness, but I was learning along the way and kept their confidence, because at that time especially, they weren't used to seeing a young African-American doing anything like that. They were just so proud of me, they gave me a chance, and they gave a chance to the right person because I got it together. And one thing led to another, when years later, guess what happened? Boom, a restaurant burned down. I'm like, what? I look on TV, here we are in front of Silver Springs, Maryland, the Carolina Kitchens. I'm like, oh God. Nothing like this has ever happened to me. I rushed down there, it was gone. But here's the worst part, the insurance company wouldn't pay for it. I had some cheap insurance. Guys, when you have a business, learn from me. Make sure you cover it properly. Even though it's expensive, it'll be worth it if something happened. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. Always do your due diligence to get a strong insurance carrier. It might be a little costly, but it will be worth it. Does that make sense? I'm still suing on people to this day. Isn't that something? That's crazy, right? So I had to start all over again.
We'd like to welcome you to the Donnie Glover Show. Today's guest is the one and only Dr. Lance London. This man is a ball of motivation, extraordinary motivational speaker, and serial entrepreneur. And we're blessed to have him here at the Black Wall Street Expo 2025. How are you, Dr. London?
Super great, sir. Super great. Just working with my voice because I've been talking. I'm so excited. Wait a minute, I'm just excited about getting up this morning and coming here to see you. So get excited.
Yes, sir. Tell me about Morgan State University. What did Morgan do for you?
Morgan did a lot for me. I say all the time, the experiences that I had at Morgan State, really you went there basically because I had a dream to be successful. My father wanted me to be the first in our family to go attend a major university and get an education. But I got two types of education. I got one, the actual education itself at Morgan State, but my people skills were strengthened. I had them already when I went there, but boy, did not learn a lot. By walking across that campus with people from all walks of life, from different parts of the country, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, California, all over the country, coming together as young people, eyes wide open, trying to become successful in life, but I learned how to deal with people. I learned from other individuals that were, man, when I was a freshman, I looked up to, and I watched how they carried themselves. I chose really wisely who I wanted to be connected to, and I chose the right people because I learned a lot about myself and what I needed to do to make my dreams become a reality.
Tell me about Carolina Kitchen and Owens Mills.
Well, you know what? Carolina Kitchen is a vision that started basically from watching my dad, who set me at the dinner table, as well as every night before I went to bed and told me about his struggles through life. And he was an entrepreneur to the heart. He went from the dirt all the way to mega success. Never quite became a millionaire, but he was very successful for the time. And he planted in my mind, son, when you go to college, and I want you to go there. If you cannot become a doctor or lawyer, son, I want you to become a salesperson. I said, well, why, Dad? He said, because the more you sell, the more you make. When you can sell, you can, basically, there's no cap on your income. You can make as much as you want, and you can invest it in whatever you want. So One of his things was he wanted to open a restaurant because one of his friends opened a restaurant. He got involved and he actually passed away before he was able to fully live his dreams, and it stuck with me. So even though I went to school to be a dentist, it never left me. And when given the opportunity, I took that opportunity, and I came up with a concept called the Carolina Kitchen, where you get your chicken and much, much more. Now remember, the roots of the belief level I had came from him. The idea of becoming a successful business person came from him. So what you teach your kids is very important. But also what I learned at Morgan State University, couple together, put it in a paint can, shake it up, boom, makes Dr. Lance London the person he is today. But God first, family, health, let's go make some money.
I gotta ask you this one question. When it comes to your dream house, when it comes to your dream car, what did you tell me before? Did you say you went and sat in it?
When it comes to homes, when it comes to anything you want, this physical thing. Because, having all the money in the world means nothing unless you put God first, right? Because these material things, they'll be gone after we leave here, but it don't hurt to have them. So what I did from a young age, I would go to car dealerships and look at the most outrageously expensive cars, sit them to the point where they would get tired of me. When I went on dates, I would see I would pick and choose who I wanted to really date, because after I treated her to dinner, I would go, I got some place special to take her. And she thought we was going to the movie. No, we went to the mansion neighborhoods and we looked at houses for hours. And if they got excited, I got excited about them. Because a dream is merely but a wish unless you write it down and start acting upon it. And because we rode through those neighborhoods, it drew so much energy in me each time, even though a lot of those times I had seen 100 times over. But every time I saw them, it was like the first time I had ever seen them. And in my heart, I said, one day I'm going to be living here. And guess what? I did.
I got to give you a chance. We got to shut down, but I got to give you a chance to plug your grandma's recipe. I know that's important to you.
Well, my grandmother was my inspiration too, as well, because she was the greatest cook of all time, Ma Pearl's. Matter of fact, I'm opening a restaurant called Ma Pearl's in a couple more months, right? Named after her. It's a New Orleans style restaurant. She's from North Carolina and lived in Louisiana a little bit. So, of course, I have the Carolina Kitchen. I have Ma Pearl's Louisiana Kitchen and Grill. It's getting ready to open now. She was an incredible lady. She always said, she had like about 500 grandkids, but she would always make me feel so uncomfortable, because when we came to Thanksgiving, she said, this is my baby right here. I don't care what none of y'all think. Anybody get mad in here, but this is my honey right here. And y'all can get mad if y'all want to. Baby, you sit right here. Grandma cooked you something special. Just none of y'all can have none. This is for him, my baby. So she left something with me, right? And I have a picture of her in my bags in my store, pictures of her in my restaurants, and I carry her with me all the time. She didn't get to see the restaurant elevate to the level we are today, but I know she's seeing it. So is my father, watching down, seeing all what's happening. And believe me, it doesn't matter where I'm at in my success. I realize that I've set a goal so high that I know I'm going to get there. But it's kind of like, I kind of say it's a masterpiece, right? But it's a masterpiece in the works. Like, for instance, it's a Rembrandt. And the painting has started to be painted. And when it's complete, it's a masterpiece. So the painting is getting painted and sitting there looking all beautiful. You know something special is happening. And I'm getting there. And when I'm finished, we'll be the first African-American national restaurant chain in the country. Big City Foods, the Carolina Kitchen, where you get your chicken and much, much more.
I appreciate you, Dr. Lance.
Oh, let me say one thing.
We didn't even get to the story about the dog foods you created.
We're not going to talk about it, but what I'm going to talk about, you got Carolina Kitchen in Bowie, Maryland, next to Magic Johnson Theaters. You have the Carolina Kitchen in Hyattsville, Maryland, right there near the University of Maryland. You got the Carolina Kitchen in Brandywine, Maryland, near Waldorf. You got the Carolina Kitchen with plant-based options right off of 495, exit 15. And the Carolina Kitchen right here in Baltimore, Maryland. In Owens Mills, Maryland, it just opened. That also has plant-based options. And in a couple more weeks, we have the Carolina Kitchen Sea and Soul, seafood, southern cuisine together, and a glass building with the roof that retracts. Get excited. And also L London Fine Wines and Spirits. They're getting ready to open in a couple weeks too. Not one, but two fine wine and spirits stores. Get excited. God is good.
Boom! Dr. Lance London right here on the Donnie Glover Show. Stay tuned. Show. Be more news. I'd like to welcome you back to the Donnie Glover Show. We have with us Kendra Adams, and she comes from a very important family in my life and maybe in yours too. Kendra, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Donnie? Thank you for having me here.
Tell them what you do, Kendra.
Well, I am third generation at J.J. Adams Fuel Oil Company, Baltimore based. We've been serving the community for over 60 years.
What does that mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. It's a legacy. I feel so honored. I feel so considered that my grandfather started something that he passed on to his son that then is going to be passed on to me. And me and my sister, we are continuing this family legacy. We both work there full time, and it's just amazing.
Easily you could be working in corporate America somewhere.
Yes, and I was actually. So I started out as an engineer at a local utility, and I was there for quite some time with interning and full-time experience. I also was a safety manager at a production facility. But what I decided to do was come back. I call it coming back home. So I brought what I learned out there back into the family business and continue to grow it.
You know, in Carter G. Woodson's The Miseducation of the Negro, that's exactly what he talks about. Us sending our children to school to come back and work for home, not to work for somebody else. Any final thoughts? Anything else you want to share about? And let me not forget Uncle Calvin.
Oh,
I
of
want
course.
to pull me up on the corner.
Uncle Calvin, my Uncle Keith. So there are multiple businesses within the family. It's just really a whole generational legacy. I would say, start something. Think about your kids in the next generation. That doesn't mean that's all you do, but that is the way that you build wealth and you can build your name and pass on something and keep building up our community.
I'm proud of you, Kendra.
Thank you so much.
And I love the way you answer the phone. That's how you got here.
Yeah,
I
it
left
is.
a message for Simone, and she had the most professional message ever. And that's what I like to hear. I like to hear top notch in our businesses.
Thank you.
You know, good stuff. My name's Donnie Glover, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Join Donnie Glover and BMoreNews.com for another Black Wall Street at the Madison 801, featuring the Joe Mann's Black Wall Street Awards. Wednesday, March 19th, 2025, from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. at 801 North Chester Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21205. BMoreNews.com.
Baltimore and DMV, Donnie Glover and BMoreNews presents BMoreNews Branding Bootcamp, a small business masterclass featuring Erica Alston Buck, Andy Pierre, Calvin Watkins, Marcel Humphrey, and Kenny Brown. That's right, March 15th, 2025, from 11 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. Get your early bird special tickets now at BMoreNews.com for BMoreNews Branding Bootcamp, a small business masterclass presented by Fox and Lion Communications in conjunction with BMoreNews.com.
Donnie Glover Show. Be more news.